People that follow this channel know I absolutely love the Punisher. Always have, always will, but of course I did make a video talking about how Marvel has a Punisher problem, and what I think they could do, or at least try to do, to fix some of the images associated with Frank Castle, the Punisher, and some of the problems he naturally just brings along with him. A lot of comments and replies were saying, well, how exactly would I fix the Punisher or bring him into the MCU? And this is assuming we keep Jon Bernthal. So I'm gonna go out of left field and just do the dumbest thing I can think of. So I would reboot him, soft reboot him as Ghost Rider. So I think most of you that are familiar with the Ghost Rider know that there can be more than one Ghost Rider, and there has in fact been more than one. And it's one of these things that's been throughout the history of Marvel Comics, even as far back as, what was it, 10,000 BC, they had a Ghost Rider. He was riding a woolly mammoth. Anyways, though, Ghost Rider is not strictly related to just one character, Johnny Blaze. You know, there's been others, even at the same time in Marvel Comics. There was Alejandra, there was Danny. I mean, look, there's plenty of Ghost Riders at the same time. Just like the Iron Fist, it's one of these things that continues to evolve. So Frank Castle, in my eyes, that skull, who Frank Castle is, I get it, right? I think most of you get it. Most of you understand what I'm saying here. I don't have to retread same grounds. If you'd like, you can go to the video up there. I'll have it pop up somewhere during this video and you can watch that and I explain it all. But the thing everybody wants to ask me, at least, was, well, how do you do it? And I said, I have some dumb ideas. Do you ditch the skull? Maybe not in its entirety. Maybe you try to reshape Frank Castle. Maybe he just becomes Castle. Maybe he becomes just Frank Castle. Because to me, Frank Castle, the character, is scarier than the Punisher. The Punisher is the logo. The Punisher is the thing you know is coming. It's his persona. To me, Frank Castle is the psychopath behind the skull. It's scarier to me to have him call himself Frank Castle. But again, it's still the Punisher. So how would you do it? Well, I do what they did in the comics, just on a more grounded level. I think most of you know he was the Cosmic Ghost Rider. That was honestly pretty cool. It's pretty great. It's a good run. He works. So why couldn't he be just a Ghost Rider? If you were to bring back Jon Bernthal, or maybe even recast, I don't know if he'd be busy or something, and say it's Frank Castle, you can say, what happened to the persona? I thought you were, you know, the Punisher, Frank Castle. It's like, yeah, well, at some point, you've done all you can, the devil comes calling, and you decide you're going to do his bidding because you realize, maybe this is the next step. Maybe I have lost all my humanity. Maybe I can become even more feared. I got my own penance stare now. I can literally put the fear that others have into others back onto themselves. And that is Punisher. This time, he doesn't even have to kill you. He can literally break you mentally by making you completely go insane. And then, if he wants to, he can do the deed. But again, I think it would honestly work. Every time I try to rationalize how do you bring back Frank Castle, to me, it always now goes back to just make him Ghost Rider. Or, as I've said before, you can still follow the, hey, we can make him, you know, War Machine, and maybe he takes on the mantle of War Machine. And Rhodey becomes Iron Man, which has been rumored. But again, still, it's that skull. You gotta ditch that. That's what they're trying to get away from. Nothing would be more poetic than ditching one skull to a burning skull and just making him Ghost Rider. I mean, it works for me. Probably not what everybody would want to do. People would just want him to be Frank Castle, and that character in today's day and age is kind of getting a little bit more blurred between the lines, if you know what I'm saying. But the way that the Ghost Rider handles his business, that's modern day Frank Castle. I don't see why it wouldn't work.